have a special ability that lets me see both the past and the future at the same time. Some say it's a gift, but I think of it as a present. Often, we spend our time thinking about the past or worrying about the future instead of enjoying the present day. I know I'm guilty of this, so what would happen if we think about time differently? People remember the Odyssey, a story about sailing and sea monsters. This is nonsense. It's a parable for the modern age, a handy reminder of the timeless nature of the many challenges the world faces today. The current is now a sequence of days ever flowing, a powerful wave never slowing, roaring forward like rapid waves, flowing on through eternal days. The reason why we were so happy as children was because we were in the present moment. The future was unknown, and the past didn't exist, meaning we were soaking and living in the fulfillment of the moment we were in. This is why, as we get older, practicing to be in the present is more important than we realize. I can only control the present, but the future is our own. Everything is influenced by the past. The past determines the future, and as time moves forward, the future becomes the present, and the present becomes the past, and all that is left is regret. 1,000 moments I had taken for granted. Mostly because I'd assumed there'd be 1,000 more. I was angry with you until it occurred to me that you might die before we settled our dispute. When I thought of you as dead, I lost my anger. That's because when we imagine the absence of something, it becomes extremely beautiful. I'm sorry. Sometimes we take people for granted, assuming they'll always be there. But life doesn't always work that way. I didn't realize not everybody comes back. Not everybody waits. And value the ones who show up for you, the ones who stay, the ones who care. Because losing someone who truly cared leaves behind a silence that lingers far longer than their presence ever did. The present moment is the only time that truly exists. The only time when we can have an accurate experience of life as it is. When we treat time as a gift, we may more fully engage in the present. You don't get it! My life has been a performance for which I was never given any chance to rehearse. Everything I do leads to another. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Quit? Don't quit. Noodles? Don't noodles. You are too concerned with what was and what will be. Yesterday is a history. Tomorrow, a mystery. But today is a gift. That is why it is called a present. If I give you a gift, it's because you deserve it. It's because you're my friend, and that's what friends do. It wasn't an inconvenience for me whatsoever, and I was happy to do it. And if you give me a gift, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that. I'm a trash person who doesn't deserve such a gift. I have yet again burdened you with my friendship, and I will spend the rest of my days repaying this debt. Presentating? Presenting? Performing for my audience is about giving my presence away, fully and intensely. Sometimes I hear people talking about performance as an unauthentic bid for attention and public adoration. But the truth, for me, is that every performance is a bid for human connection. People are confused by the priority of we because they assume being on stage is a celebrity to fame and glory. But the truth is that every performance is stepping on a line, trying to communicate what the listener needs to know from the score. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits, their entrances, and one man in his life plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, then the whining schoolboy, then the lover, then the soldier, then the justice. The final scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is the second childishness and mere oblivion. Saw his teeth, saw his eyes, saw his taste, saw his everything. Before it's too late, stop trying to wait for future and fame you're secure of. For there's one thing to be sure of, mate. There's nothing to be sure of. There's a special kind of lie. It doesn't whisper, it doesn't try to hide. It squirms under scrutiny, daring you to question it. This is performative lying. It's not just deceit, it's domination. Masking, also called camouflaging, or compensating, is when a person hides their true self to fit in with others. This can be a coping mechanism, trauma response, or you just do it intentionally to avoid conflict or judgment. Do you present yourself this way? Oh, it's time to start living. Time to take a little from this world we're given. Time to take time, 'cause spring will turn to fall in just no time at all. A block universe theory describes now as an arbitrary place and time, stating that the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. Our brain recognizes our current experience with one in the past, leaving us with a feeling of familiarity that we can't quite place. Like a sofa that turns into a bed. Or a stick you throw to your dog. This 2-in-1 dry shampoo and styling powder will literally make your day, so use it. Envy somebody. If I travel to the past, I'm part of the past. More importantly, I was always a part of the past. In other words, by me going to the past, I'm just fulfilling preordained actions written out in the block that is space-time. How you present yourself to others makes a humongous difference in how you view yourself. With right confidence, behavior, look, and attitude, you can look like your best self and feel your best. Thyme leaves, a warm, aromatic, and piney flavor, used in soups, stews, and jerk blends. A ladybug on a finger, trusting the giant. Oh, it runs away from change, not daring to defy it. Present, being in the same place as someone or something. Introducing someone formally or ceremonially, a thing being offered, what is offered, or given as a gift. Being present is before the cause, before being taken to a particular destination. The only beginning is birth, and the only end is death. If you can't count on that, what can you count on? Presence is before one finds one's way, before meaning, before interpretation, before one perceives or understands. You know what I find is that the closer I get to physical death, more real I am, the more present I feel. And I realize I have no idea what lies beyond the other side of death. But there's this aliveness that's building inside me. And I can't help but think there's a connection between that and the feeling of physical death. Well, no, I can't explain that. I don't have an explanation for that, but I do think we suffer more when we resist the flow of the river. We must be born with an intuition of mortality before we know the words for it, before we knew there were words for it. Out we come, bloody and squalling, knowing that for all compasses in the world, they all point in one direction, and time is its only measure. The sports community has stories to tell, passion to share, elements of greatness, moments of despair. We're here to help present to you, parents, grandparents, fan enthusiasts, how to harness the moment and make room for the new ones every time you, your son, your daughter, your mom or dad goes on the ice, takes their position, and goes the distance. At this point, there's no point to anything. If everything is predetermined, nothing matters, and the present moment is just this. Well, why don't we think about it this way? I don't think life on Earth was given any particular meaning or purpose. The universe still describes us as large, intricate piles of rocks and treats us accordingly. But I think you'd be a fool to simply throw your life away because nothing matters. I would argue, as living beings, being the only things capable of being happy, should strive their whole collectives to do just that, to produce as much high-quality happiness as possible for the most amount of people possible. Besides which, I certainly think this life's worth living, deeper meaning or no. Don't you? You must learn to know who you are. You must find a sense of identity, enhance the sense of self, and learn to see how to use that knowledge. Don't compare yourself to others. You have your own unique destiny that only you can accomplish. You need to learn to be more absent in others' lives, if it means becoming more present in your own. Perception plays a crucial role in shaping our understanding of the world, including concepts such as omnipresence. While the human senses are powerful, yes, they can often lead to misconceptions and skew our reality. Vampires live among us. No, seriously. They're doctors, artists, lawyers, spanning all different ages, races, genders, and religions. They get their Starbucks lattes and walk their dogs and groan about high gas prices. History is always flowing, it's fluid. What history looks like today looked different 100 years ago, and what the history in the making looks like will look different 20 years from now. I spent all this time looking at this stupid box instead of focusing on the now. You're the best gift I could have asked for. You're my gift, my now.